This is lesson 3.8 in our Go Math book. We're on page 149, and we're working with using drawings to represent problems. The essential question is, how are bar models used to show addition and subtraction problems? We've done a little bit of work with bar models, and so today we're going to go back and visit that. It says complete the bar model to show the problem and complete the number sentence to solve. So here's our problem. Haley has 5 pennies in her pocket and 7 pennies in her wallet. How many pennies does she have? So they're telling us that she has 5 pennies and 7 pennies, and they want to know the total that she has. So I know the two parts. I know that she has 5 pennies and that she has 7 pennies, and what we're looking for is the total. Now remember, this whole green rectangle is our bar, and it's divided here, which tells us we have 2 parts. We needed 2 numbers here. And this line down here is telling us this is where our total is going to go. So our number sentence for this would be 5 pennies and 7 pennies, 5 plus 7, equals 12. So for our bar model, the total, or the whole, goes down here, and we also put our answer over here beside the label. So in this bar model, we have a part, and we have the whole. For the second problem, it says Blake has 12 pennies in his bank. He gives 5 pennies to his sister. How many pennies does he have now? Now this problem is a little bit different from the one on the top. It's telling us how many pennies he has. It's telling us the whole. He had 12. And he gives 5 pennies to his sister. So that's one of the parts. That's what he gives away. So what we're looking for here is the other part. To get our whole bar model finished, what's the other part that is going to get us to 12? So for this one, we're going to subtract because he gave them away. He had 12 and he gave away 5. So what does he have left? So 12 minus 5 is 7. So the other part in this bar model is 7, and he has 7 pennies left. Now in the math talk, it wants to explain how the problems are alike. Well, if I look up here, I can see that they use all of the same numbers. They use the 5, 7, and 12, the 5, 7, and 12. But our problems asked us to do 2 different things. In the top one, it gave us the 2 parts, but it didn't give us the whole. It didn't give us the total. We had to figure that out. In the bottom one, it did give us the whole. It gave us the total, and it gave us one of the parts. We had to figure out what the other part was. So we solved it 2 different ways. On the top one, we added our 2 parts to get our whole. In our bottom one, we subtracted. We started with our whole. We subtracted what he gave away to find out what he had left. You can turn your paper over. We are on page 150. We're going to the top where it says model and draw. You can use bar models to show problems. Ben eats 14 crackers. Ron eats 6 crackers. How many more crackers does Ben eat than Ron? So this one looks a little different because the bar on the top is not divided. It's just one whole bar, so the whole is 14. That's how many Ben eats. And we're going to compare that to what Ron eats. Ron eats 6. So Ben ate more than 6. But they want to know how many more crackers does Ben eat than Ron. So we need to find out what would be the other part that would make Ron's crackers equal to Ben's. So we start with the whole, 14. We subtract the 6 that Ron eats to get 8. So the other part that we need is 8, because 6 and 8 make 14. So he has eaten 8 more crackers. Susie had 14 crackers. She gave 6 cookies to Grace. How many cookies does Susie have now? So this one, they give us the total. That's how many cookies Susie had. That's the whole. She gave 6 cookies to Grace. So how many cookies does Susie have now? How many are left? So we have one part and we have the whole, but we don't have the other part. So to figure that out, we're going to subtract. We're going to start with the 14. We're going to subtract the 6 that she gave away. And 14 minus 6 equals 8. So she's going to have 8 cookies left. So that goes there. It also goes up here in the bar model to show that 6 and 8 would make 14. On the bottom it says complete the bar model, then write a number sentence to solve. Mr. James bought 15 plain bagels and 9 raisin bagels. How many more plain bagels than raisin bagels did he buy? How many more? That is a math question that tells me I am going to subtract. So if you look at this bar, you can see it's a whole bar, 15. So he bought 15 plain, and then he bought 9 raisin. So how many more raisin would he have had to buy to have this be equal to that 15? So we're going to start with that bigger number, the whole number, 15. We're going to subtract the 9 because we want to know how many more. And 15 minus 9 equals 6. So he had 6 more plain bagels than raisin bagels. I also need to put it over here to finish my bar model. And 9 plus 6 would be 15. Go to the next page. And you are going to work on bar models, completing them, and writing the number sentence to solve. Cole has 5 books about dogs and 6 books about cats. How many books does Cole have? So when I look at this bar model, they have given us the 2 parts. What we don't have is the whole, the total. You need to write the number sentence that will give you the total. Number 3, Miss Gore had 18 pencils. She gave 9 pencils to Aaron. How many pencils does Miss Gore have now? So they've given us the total here. There's the whole. We only have one of the parts. You have to find the other part. What other number would go here to make this be equal to 18? And what is the number sentence that you would use to solve that? Number 4, Anne has 16 blue clips and 9 red clips. How many more? Here's that how many more. We're comparing. Blue clips than red clips does she have? So here's a whole bar right here. It's not divided. That's a whole number. So she has 16 blue clips and she has 9 red clips. So how many more red clips would she need to make this bar also be equal to 16? What do you do when it says how many more? Write that number sentence here and get your answer here and here. And turn your paper over. We're going to do some problem solving here on the back. We're going to use this table with this information to help us do that. So this table is about flowers that Jenna picked. These are her flowers. She picked roses, tulips, and daisies. And these are the number of the flowers that she picked. She picked 6 roses, 8 tulips, and 11 daisies. Jenna put all of the roses and all of the tulips into a vase. So the roses and the tulips. How many flowers did she put into the vase? You need to write a number sentence, solve that, and put your answer beside the label. Number 6. 4 of the daisies are white. The other daisies are yellow. How many daisies are yellow? So we know that there are 11 daisies. They don't tell us what color they are. But this says that 4 of the daisies are white and the other daisies are yellow. So we need to know how many are yellow. There are only 11 in all. So you need a number sentence to figure out how many are yellow. Get your answer here and put it down here. And number 7, Mrs. Johnson wants to put 18 flowers into a vase. She put 9 flowers into the vase. How many more flowers does she need to put into the vase? Again, there's that how many more. What do you do when it says how many more? They don't give you a lot of space here, but I think down here you'd have enough room to write your number sentence and get your answer and then fill in the correct dot. Mrs. Johnson wants to put 18 flowers into a vase. She puts 9 flowers into the vase. So how many more flowers does she need to put into the vase? When you get all of those done, then your assignment is complete.